the most horrifying thing I've heard after 18 is, your future is on you. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, now I have to make every decision on my own. Now I have to choose which job to take, which city to live in, and which people to swipe right. Now I can no longer blame my teachers, my parents, or society for making the wrong decision for me. Now there's no magic. I can't just wait around. No one else can rescue me and I have to do something. Well, excuse me, in the past 18 years of schooling, not a single subject or group assignment has taught me how to make the right decision, and I'm suddenly expected to do it right. Well, I guess I'll ask for guidance about career from my parents. What? You guys live in such a different generation when people stick with one job their whole life and companies don't lay off people randomly? Fine. I guess I'll just ask for advice from my peers to see which city is the best place to live in. But everyone says every place in the world is better than their place. Either the job market is a piece of shit or the salary is a piece of, the weather is, yeah. Okay, I guess I'll just ask for help about relationship from tarot reading. Oh, I forgot. Tarot cards told me I was supposed to find the one 2 years ago, but I'm still very single. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Whether you like it or not, it's the reality and we all feel the same way. As young adults, we tend to spend months trying to figure out the proper choice or just procrastinating so we don't have to make a choice in the first place. As young adults, we feel like we need to weigh every side of the option before choosing one, but we also hardly have any prior experience on which to base our reasoning. Even though we've made some decisions before, for example, I actually made almost every major decision when I was a teenager, like which high school, middle school, and college to go to, all on my own. But in our 20s, things started to feel a little bit different. We often believe that the decisions we make now can alter the course of our entire life, tremendously impact our 30s, 40s, or even 50s, which in some cases are true. Even scarier, right? That's why I don't really recommend the book The Defying Decades to many of my friends, because I know we are all anxious enough and I don't want to add any extra anxiety to us. But what if there's no right decision? Well, I have some arguments for that. Hear me out. Number one, things change, so do you. Who gets to define right or wrong? Let me tell you a story. Remember that I said I picked my own college just now? It didn't take me very long till I realized I made a horrible decision. The program was such a big cash cow for the university. The admission bar was much lower for students in other provinces. In mainland China, we have over 50 provinces. And when I mentioned my college degree to my geography teacher in high school, she literally asked me, "Why did you choose that program? Why did you waste your marks in college entrance examination?" And she also asked, "Do you know that students whose grades are way lower than you got into schools that are way better than you?" Yep, at the exact time point, I felt like a piece of trash. But luckily, I was a trash that bounced back very quickly. Knowing that I could have done better, I worked extremely hard in uni. I got national scholarship. I graduated with the highest GPA in my program and got into Duke University and Imperial College London. I could say that if it wasn't the shame of picking the wrong college, I would not have worked that hard. The wrong decision turned into the right decision. Is it a happily ever after ending though? I wish. In order to get into some better and more elite universities for my master's degree, and also to compensate for the regrets for my undergrad, I deliberately chose programs that are not that technical and thus not that competitive. I was so proud of my, street smart until I started to look for a job. Now it seems like that a pure marketing degree or management degree cannot get me anywhere as an international student. Great news, wrong decision again. I know many would argue that it wasn't true that you cannot get anywhere, you cannot get any job. Countless people do succeed with all kinds of degrees. I know, I was just being a little bit dramatic there to make the point that things do change and our decisions change as well. A decision you think is wrong in the past might turn out to be a great one. And a decision you believe is right today might reveal its dark side in the future. No one can define whether a decision is good or bad for our lives, yourself included, until we're dead, which we all hope is far, far away. So why bother today? It's all temporary. And point number 2, decisions are colorful. One quote that I love from the book Quarterlife Crisis is 20-something need to view decisions as rife with a string of possibilities, rather than as correct or incorrect answers to specific questions. Decisions are not all black and white, positive or negative. In the end, any way you go, you learn something new or you get led into a new direction. For the decisions you think are quote-unquote wrong now, see them as colorful. Interesting fact, when I was a freshman in the uni, I joined 6 different student organizations, including volunteering groups, entrepreneurial societies, 2 types of student unions, blah, blah, blah. And oh my, after I lost a ton of sleep, I have quitted 5 of them in my sophomore year and stay in only one organization. Do I regret the decision of joining them in the first place? Do I feel like all my time and effort there are just completely wasted? Not at all. Looking back, they're all not the ideal decisions, but I knew lots of interesting people there. My experience working in these organizations helped me succeed as a president in the organization that I chose to stay. I had a really rich and memorable experience in college. We sometimes make a great decision. Lucky us. We sometimes make a bad decision. Pursue the wrong career, marry the wrong person, pick the wrong shoe and get left by your partner. Yes, it's painful to make a change afterwards. No one says it's going to be easy, but we manage to go by it anyway. One of the biggest illusions in life is that we should have a perfect life. Quote from The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. If every step you ever take is perfect, you might already be a billionaire by 20 and won't be listening to this episode about decision making now. But, keep listening. Gracias. No matter what decisions you make, things end up working out just fine. Number 3, to make a decision is already a great decision. We tend to think that by avoiding decisions now, we keep all of our options open for later. But not making choices is a choice all the same. When we make choices, we open ourselves up to the hard work and failure and heartbreak. So sometimes it feels easier not to know, not to choose, and not to do. The worst mistake you can make is that you didn't even try something. 20th is the time to explore, to experiment before settling down. I'm not saying that you cannot do it in your 30s, 40s. People switch their careers in their 80s and can still be a great success. I'm just saying in 20s, you have the most opportunity to do trial and error. For every personality or career test that I've ever taken, I'm defined as a creative person. Very proud of that. But I haven't got to exert my creativity as much as I'd expect, whether it's in school or in the workplace. And I didn't take any action for a very, very long time in order to use or say, like practice my creativity. I always say to myself, school workload is too heavy. I needed to apply to my master's. Final Cut Pro is insanely expensive. Why Final Cut Pro? Because my passion at that time was on video content creating. However, inaction breeds anxiety. Anxiety, strength, inaction. All I needed to do was just to press record and post. The biggest risk is never take any risk. That's how I started my video channel, which is called Kitty's Quarterlife Crisis on a Chinese social media platform called Red, also known as Little Red Book, which is like a combo of, or say equivalent of Instagram and YouTube. On that platform, I get to experiment with all types of video content, and now I have accumulated over 40,000 subscribers. Yay! Making the decision of becoming a content creator might sound trivial to many, but it involves lots of time, energy, and patience. It involves lots of hurts when no one's watching a heartfelt video I made. And honestly speaking, I seldom got any brand deal or accept any. So why am I doing it? Just radiating love for free? Just trying to prove I have creativity? I am doing it because creativity heals me, and I hope it can heal other people too. It will be a mistake if I didn't make the decision to use my creativity. You see what I'm doing? I just explained the reason why I decided to create this podcast. Another decision I made. I have no idea whether it's going to work or not, but I'm very proud of making the decision anyways. Life is too short to waste on if-only statement. If you silence your passions, you could miss out on a great discovery. There were no mistakes in these decisions. Your life is what you make of it. And from these experiences, you learn who you really are. You have to be willing to put yourself on the line to risk making those mistakes in order to reap the benefits of good decisions. Easier said than done, you might say. What if I start and change my mind? What if I fail? Well, here's some great news. You can still do something else. Which is my point number 4. You can always choose again. Making a decision doesn't mean you have to stick to that decision your whole life. We can always choose again any age in life. And the beauty of 20s is you have the most time to choose again. You still get so much time ahead of you. You still get so many opportunities to make mistakes and make new decisions. There's no perfect decision anyway. There will always be something new to try. There will always be realizations that what you're doing at a particular time will not be the perfect fit forever. Though that's unsettling, it keeps you awake. Instead of debating a decision over and over again, what matters is to make a decision, be it the right or wrong one, and then go with it. Because you can always choose again. As it's said in the book Big Magic, it's not wasted. You're just better informed. In my parents' generation, they pick a job and they do it their whole life till retirement, which has its bright side, but also limitations. We're so lucky now that we can quit a job that we don't like. Of course, it will be easier if you have an emergency fund, so don't be too impulsive. We're so lucky that we live in an age where we can divorce the people we no longer love and not be judged as old days. We're so lucky that we can travel around the world. We can try out different places, dreams, and people before we settle down. We're so lucky that we can travel around the world. We can try out different places, people, and dreams before we settle down. Change is horrifying and full of doubts, yes, but any other way, you're just stuck. The only limits we have are the ones we place on ourselves. The right to choose is always a privilege, and we should learn to be grateful for it. Next time you ask yourself, how do I know if I'm making the right decisions? You don't, but you make them anyway. Follow this channel if you like this type of content. Thank you for spending the time with me. I'm Kitty, and this is Questions in 20s. Have a great rest of your day, and see you in the next episode.